All right, Coach, I know this feeling probably doesn't get old when you hear Nevada come across, you see the fans explode, see your players get excited. How special is it to be included in the field?
It's extremely special because I said to the fans that were here at Lawler, it's the hardest tournament to get in college athletics. The majority of schools, there's 362 and only 68 get to join this party. So, and then it goes down the last bracket, just like it did last year. So it got a little bit more nerve-wracking than what I was wanting. But anytime your name's called for this tournament, it's very special, and I'm very happy for our guys because they're deserving of it.
You come into this thing, and most prognosticators are putting you guys 5, 6, 7, 8, really at the least. As you start seeing some Mountain West schools come off, Utah State in 8, you see Colorado State and Boise State going to play-in games. Did you start kind of sweating a little bit, going, where are we getting placed here?
Well, I was very shocked, And again, I know the committee's got a hard job ahead of them, and I'm sure when there's multiple teams from a league like the Mountain West to try to figure that out, teams slide one way or the other. But it seems like most of our leagues slid the other way, and Colorado State being the last team in is that means the field is really good because Colorado State's very, very good. So I'm just glad that we got 6 teams in. That's the biggest thing. Seeding could have been a little bit better, but like with our seed, I thought probably our worst seed was going to be a 7 just by our metrics, but 7 going east versus 10 staying out west, I'll take 10. I mean, it's so sometimes I think that goes into committees' minds too. The travel has a lot to do with it as well. So they've got a very difficult job, and we're fortunate that we're in it. And now hopefully we get a little bit healthy here and do the things that we need to do in Salt Lake. It's easy for our fans to get to.
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at that game, and maybe you could have thought Nevada's going to go there as the 7, You go there as a 10, so I guess in some ways it doesn't really matter, right?
Right.
One team's a 7, one team's a 10. You're still going to play each other. As you just mentioned, being able to be that close, a 7-hour drive, a 1-hour flight. Right. I mean, this could turn into kind of a home game for you guys.
We hope so. We hope so because we've been awfully good at home. So this is great for our fans. That it's easy travel. Let's grab up all the tickets we can because it's going to be much more difficult for Dayton's fans to get there than it is ours, and we've got an incredible fan base. So it's a great opportunity for our fans to show up and support and obviously get to see a team that they've had a lot of fun following this year.
You get to bring a team back to the tournament 2 years in a row. Obviously, last year left a sour taste in the mouths of this basketball team after what happened in Dayton. What do you hope this team has been able to learn from that experience, maybe even Mountain West Tournament, to be able to kind of take that next step forward here in Salt Lake?
Well, the thing that we've been able to do this year is take a step forward in every direction since spring. The guys didn't have a lot of experience last year. That's why I said I thought it was an amazing job to get 22 wins, to be in a conference race, to do the thing, make the tournament last year. They did so many good things. We didn't lose 2 games in a row until the final week of the season, and we had no experience. And so now we come to this year, the 4 individuals that just did media, they've all were here last year, so they've got experience going into this thing. And from spring all the way with their work ethic, their commitment to, hey, now we know what it's like. We know and it all builds to this. Obviously, this is the pinnacle. This is what you're fighting for to get to. But the non-league was better. We win an MTE event. The league was better. We were 13-5. We improved there. So they've just been getting better at every stop. So hopefully we can do that now in the NCAA tournament. It's not easy, Alex. I was talking to Stephanie about it. People need to know how hard it is. It just gets harder every year. Like, I'm sure if you watch TV tonight, the teams that didn't get in, I think of Indiana State. They couldn't have had a better year. I mean, there's so many good teams that are left out and didn't get in because it's a really hard tournament to get in, and then it's even more difficult to advance. But I know our guys are going to fight. They're going to compete, and it's going to be a fun opportunity for them.
All right, so you guys find out here on Sunday afternoon your coaches are going to be up all night long breaking down the Dayton Flyers, a team out of the A10 conference, had almost the same record as you guys this year. Not too far away from your hometown in Indiana, so you're familiar with that Dayton area. Of course, we were there last year for the first 4. What do you know about this Flyers basketball team?
Well, I know more about Dayton and the history of Dayton. Coach Donaher was my assistant on the Olympic team way back in the 80s. So, in fact, when we went there last year, I got to see Coach Donaher and haven't seen him in years. And he's really the one that put Dayton on the map, and now they have obviously had some really good coaches and programs since. But Dayton really started to become who Dayton is when Coach Donaher took over. So I don't know much about them this year. That's why it'll be this is the best all-nighter of the year. You know, we spent a lot of time in there late at night in the office breaking down film after our games and stuff, but this is fun. You're finally, after 2 months of just going crazy against the competition in the Mountain West, now you get to play somebody different. And we know they're very good. We know they're very talented. They're in this tournament just as we are. So we just got to stay in character. We got to stay to who we are, value the ball, value possessions, get good shots, and then just guard. You know, I think we've had a little bit of slippage defensively, and so we've really concentrated on that since getting back from Vegas, on just fine-tuning what we are and who we are defensively.
You've seen teams, you've coached teams to the Sweet 16, you've played in a national championship. What about this team? You mentioned the age, you mentioned some of those things in that last statement, but what about this team do you feel like could go and win some NCAA tournament games?
We're really connected. You know, that's the thing. You've got to have a locker room that's connected and they're thinking the same thing. And this team's done that all year. Every blip that we've had, they've grown, they've matured, and we're coming off a blip. We just lost our last game, and we've responded all year long when it's come to a little storm that hits us, and it's because of how connected they are. They figure things out, they compete. We've been playing at a whole nother level the last month of the season, and that's what we're going to have to play. When you get to March, you got to play at that next level. I didn't think we played awful in the Mountain West tournament. We just didn't play as well as Colorado State, and that's why Colorado State won the game. So you got to play. You get to this point of the year, you got to play an A game. You can't be BC and think that you're going to advance in this tournament. And this team is very unselfish. It's team greater than self. They've been that way all year long, and as long as we stay in character, we're going to be a tough out.
Obviously, in this time of year, health is a big importance as you go play tournament basketball. Hunter McIntosh did not play in the Mountain West Conference tournament. Your team was sick down in Vegas. Kenan Blackshear had the flu. A bunch of other guys, we could hear him hacking, you know, in post-game press conference. What is the health of your team, both on an illness side and with Hunter as well?
Yeah, Hunter's day-to-day. You know, we left him home rehabbing and doing the things he's got to do, and he was in the gym again today doing that. So it's going to be day-to-day. You know, we would have liked maybe if it would have been a perfect scenario, Friday, Sunday. But we didn't get that, but we're at least close to home. And so we'll see how he is. We'll probably have a better idea of him in the next 72 hours as he continues to rehab. The flu and the illnesses have gone through about 5-6 players and a couple coaches. So hopefully we're at the tail end of that. I think we had maybe one today that was still fighting it a little bit, but seems like it's through us and the end of it, and hopefully that's the case.
Keenan, the Wolfpack was the third to last team announced. What was it like sitting there and just waiting for almost the entire selection show?
It was painful. You've been reading like all these predictions of where we are going to be, 6, 7, some say 5. But for us to like fall all the way down to 10 was kind of crazy to see. But it's still a blessing though. It's always a blessing just to be in the NCAA tournament and just put on the colors, silver and blue with my brothers, really.
What does it mean to know that number 13 jersey at this point is only going to be worn for a guaranteed 40 more minutes? Is it setting in at all?
It hasn't set in, but I want to make it last as long as I can. I still have the taste from last year in my mouth, and I don't want that to go this year. I don't want that to be repeated. So I'm going to try everything to just keep this jersey on as long as I can.
What happened last year in Dayton and what obviously doesn't have to happen now?
Malfunction. We went 0-4 the last 4 games, and I feel like this year we have veteran people to keep everybody accountable and keep everybody connected with what our slogan has been. So I feel like if we're just connected, we'll be fine.
Staying connected is that slogan. The experience from last year, how much do you think it can teach you going into this year? Obviously, you're in the present moment now.
We can lean on Jarod a lot since he was in the Elite 8 run. So things of that nature is good. We have coaches who won national championships, and Coach Alford winning one as a player. I feel like just experience is the biggest teacher, really, and I feel like we got that right now.
What about what you guys are doing on the court tells you that you guys can make a little magic over in Utah?
I feel like every day that we go out, I feel like we're the better team on the floor. And not to sound cocky at all, but I believe in my teammates. I believe in the people in the locker room with me. We've been going at this or thinking about this since the spring, and just running the fields with the team. Like we all had this motto: this where we was going to be.
What has your time at this point in Silver and Blue meant to you? I'm thinking about the player that first arrived here on campus and the development and what you're doing now, and now this chance to create a little more history for this program.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I always think about the times of just coming here from Florida. It's a big adjustment, and I'm lost for words. I'm just so happy and proud of myself for just how far I came and just the obstacles I had to overcome. But still some more to go.
More to go. We'll see you in Salt Lake, Kenan.
Thank you. Go Wolfpack.
All right, Jarod, the 7-10 game. You're heading to Salt Lake. All things considered, feels like a pretty good draw.
It feels like a really good draw. I know for a second I was a little scared. Coach had mentioned it before, but last year we were one of the last teams in, and then once again being in the West region, one of the last teams we called, and then I know a decent amount of us thought we were the 7, and then to see we were the 10. It was obviously a similar situation, but be able to play in Salt Lake, play the closest location you can to Reno is awesome, and I'm really hoping for a home game when we get to Salt Lake.
Not too long of a trip for Wolfpack faithful, of course. So last year we end up in Dayton for our first 4 game. Now this year you're going to play against Dayton. It's a proud Flyers program. At this moment, you probably don't know a ton about them, but what do you think of this matchup?
I'm sure I don't know much about them, but I'm sure they probably might have watched us get our butt whooped in Dayton. So I know if they might not think we're too good. So, obviously we'll watch a little bit more of them, but I'm sure they're a great program. I've seen them in and out of the top 25, so I know they're a really good program.
You talked pretty candidly about that experience last year, the tough loss to Arizona State. That taste still lingers. I know it does. How much is it fueling you guys, and how much did you learn going into this run?
It was an embarrassment, honestly. I know for us, obviously it's tremendous making the NCAA tournament, but it was a little embarrassing to lose like we did, to be able to make the NCAA tournament and then for that to happen. So we know that we have our work cut out for us, and we got to be able to go to Salt Lake and hopefully beat a really good Dayton team.
What can you say about this group that tells you that there is some noise to be made in Salt Lake City?
We have a ton of depth, and we have guys with experience. I'm playing my third NCAA tournament. The whole roster, for the most part, is playing their second NCAA tournament. Obviously, Coach Alford, Noodles, and everybody else on their coaching staff has played plenty in NCAA tournaments. So we have experience, and having experience is always important this time of the year. So hopefully we can, put that to work when we get to Dayton, or when we play Dayton Thursday.
We bring up the first 4, and we see 2 Mountain West teams having to be part of the first 4. A bit of a surprise there. 6 bids happens, but almost feels like a slight knock on the conference by the committee.
Yeah, I know for us it definitely does, because throughout the year we're all knocking each other off, and to see that, not only 1 but 2 teams in, and Colorado State be the last team in was really surprising. And Colorado State has an All-American point guard in Isaiah Stevens. So obviously good luck to all those guys, and we're rooting for everybody. Obviously, just like San Diego State with the national championship, I know for us, we're rooting for every team in the Mountain West. So hopefully they can get it done.
At this point, root for each other, yes. So number 2, Jarod Lucas, has at this point 40 guaranteed minutes left in Silver and Blue. Does that feel kind of surreal? What is your message to the community and all Wolfpack fans out there?
Well, I've loved every time I've gotten to wear and put on that Nevada jersey, and I hope it never stops, and I hope I'm able to take this team as far as we can, because I know that I don't want to stop, and we got a really good group of guys that I enjoy playing with, and it's really rare in college basketball to be able to have a group of guys that connects with each other off the court like we do. So I know for us, hopefully we can make this thing last.
You've made a run to the Elite Eight with your previous school, Oregon State. What does it take? You obviously got to kind of bottle up a little magic, but what has to happen on the floor?
I think it's guys being happy for each other's success. In the NCAA tournament, it doesn't matter who's the leading scorer, who's the leading rebounder. It's if you get the job done. So I know for me, it doesn't matter if I score 0 points next game or if I score 30. The big thing is making sure that we win, because in all honesty, winning it helps a lot of problems that go on, but also, I know that everybody in this community wants us to win, and I know all my teammates want to win, so we got to do our job.
We'll see you in Salt Lake, Jarod.
See you guys soon. Go Pack.